first Evo back offline, the final one for Street Fighter V, and you're looking in prime form, right? Now, we all know that it didn't start off the way you wanted because of the the Ryan Hart incident.
Everyone always, it's always so funny, but like Ryan Hart did kind of, play good, and like I did drop a lot of combos. Now I'm not gonna say, PS4 Street Fighter 5 or whatever. I'm not gonna use that kind of excuse. But Ryan Hart did just kind of play, good, and like I did drop a lot of stuff. So like I was salty I lost, but at the same time, when I do look back at that match, I see a lot of the things I did wrong.
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously, for those who don't know, Ryan Hart, the UK Justin Wong almost, right? Just legendary fighting game player, like probably the most tournament wins of any player on the planet, just based on pure number of games and tournaments and longevity he's had. He's an amazing player.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
It's not his main focus usually, especially even at this time, to buckle down for one game to be the best. But if he has the talent and he has the ability to always cause that one big upset, like he's of that caliber of player and has been for decades, literally. So it's not impossible to think he beat you, of course, but it was an upset on this trajectory you're having where it's like, man, the buzz was at this time, iDom's going to win Evo. That was, I don't know if you heard the whispers in the hallway. Oh, iDom, there's a future Evo champion. Like people were talking like it's a sure thing almost that iDom is going to win this Evo. And then you got beat at, was that top 128? It was relatively early in the bracket.
I think it was like top 192 or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was like the second or third pool.
That added probably 10 sets to your run, or maybe more. Like you had to go on the long way to get into top 8.
I have a weird thing about this, theory. I like going to losers. It's just until you get to grands that you actually get screwed.
You like going to losers?
It's good until you get to grands.
But why would you ever like going to losers?
You play more games and the people you're playing are right out of losers. I mean, they just lost.
Oh,
you have a better path.
You want to get to losers first, and you want people to keep being funneled from winners and be tilted. And
yeah, and then you keep winning, and then it's like a free climb until you get to grands. It's a weird thing, but I think it's true.
I think it's just because you're iDom playing Laura, and they're just like, oh shit, I'm in losers, and I gotta play iDom playing Laura.
I feel like it's a good thing, but the guy in grants has too much of an advantage.
Yeah, I mean they earned it, but I see your point to a degree. I think you play at the time Street Fighter V. It's a very scary matchup to go against. Also, a grappler with a fireball. It's you're doing a lot of guessing for your tournament life. I can see there being an extra mental edge there as well. But you make it all the way back, or actually, you get to top 8. That Daigo match, top 8. Is that the first time you played Daigo in Street Fighter V?
No, I lost to Daigo at E-League before that, and I think I lost to him at... I played him in casuals at Combo Breaker, and I got destroyed. I got 3-0'd or something, but I was 2019? 2019? Sometime around there. So I was getting destroyed by Daigo.
But at this point, would you say you had way more matchup experience? Because this is after you started playing do online in those random tournaments and just more time has passed. What do you think was different in this encounter versus Daigo in the Guile matchup?
So I already know I'm about to get so much flack for this, but I feel like, before I would hold Daigo to a higher pedestal, and I remember me and Ringe talk about this a lot, but Daigo play like a scrub, to be honest, and it's so funny because when you realize that, that's when I feel like you're just gonna start beating him. It's oh, he's a scrub just like me, and then that's when you start oh wait, he's not doing anything crazy, and boom, that's how.
He do be doing some ume flash kicks, he really does kind of play like that. Especially in Street Fighter V era. He would throw the games away, and if you just allow him to throw it away, not trying to diss the GOAT, but the moments where you think, oh, he won't do it because that's so stupid, he'll do it. Like
Yeah, he's
he'll
gonna
do
do
it.
it.
So
I remember playing. I played before I played Daigo. Actually, I DM'd Punk for advice because he always destroyed Daigo, and that was like
mm,
kind of one of the things he told me. He was like, play Daigo like a scrub, because like play like a scrub, and I was like, oh wow, that was probably the best advice somebody could have gave me.
wow. Well, he's a pretty good scrub because that set was still really close to give Daigo some credit. He needs some credit. But he it was 3-2, and yeah, definitely a super explosive set. I love that set. That was one of my favorite sets of all time in Street Fighter V. Definitely a super hype one. If people listening or watching haven't seen that version of iDom versus Daigo, because we had the modern equivalents over the past weekend, which is very interesting and speaks to what you just said about Daigo being a scrub. Some things don't change, huh? That's
Right.
interesting.
Other game, same person.
All right. But you make it through, and then you're after that point, you kind of smoke everybody, right? So you 3-1 Mr. Crimson. First of all, I forgot about that one, which was the rivalry, and I think that was the run back from Red Bull Kumite, UK. 3-2 Daigo, 3-0 Tokido, 3-1 Gachikun. You're just cooking at this point, and then Kawano Grand Finals. Kawano in this time is like the iDom of Japan, right? Like. He comes up during the online era and starts just beating all of Japan in all of their events over and over. Topanga League, EVO Japan Online, whatever it is, Kawano's winning it pretty much in this era. So this was the showdown. Like, people expected Kawano iDom. Like, if you were paying attention at all, this was the matchup that you expected. Were you surprised to run into him in Grand Finals? Was that kind of also what you were thinking at the time, that he was the guy to beat?
Not I was kind of expecting Kawano, because like you said, he was kind of just like the guy during the online era, and like I was a bit surprised he beat Tokido, but I wasn't really surprised he beat Gachikun, because I know they played in like winter semis or something. But like after he beat Tokido, I was like, yeah, I know I'm gonna end up playing Kawano, because like after I beat Daigo, like Urian and Rashid were kind of like the two matchups that I was really good at in 5. So that one I wasn't too like Tokido and Gachikun I wasn't really too worried about. But yeah, getting to Kawano was kind of like the oh shit factor. Like, oh man, this is it.
Right. And so the Colleen matchup, that I think that's given you some trouble in the past, right? And even, if I remember correctly, did Punk sometimes pick that against you? Like, I feel like Colleen is not the best matchup for Laura. Is that correct?
Laura Colleen, I always felt like Laura did pretty well, but like Punk did beat me there was a Street Fighter League. I don't remember which season it was, but there was one Street Fighter League where he actually did beat me. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what Street Fighter League it was. But I remember it was like the last match. I think it was like winners finals of the playoffs. So like we were both last, and I remember it was like Poison and Karen was banned. So it ended up being like Laura Colleen.
Okay, so it wasn't an initial counter pick. It was just the stupid ban system, which is a whole other. Okay, sure. So matchup wise, you don't think it's the worst thing in the world. You end up resetting the bracket 3-1. You're cooking for a while. That reset was actually pretty dominant. Like, that was not just adjust a few things here and there, if I remember correctly. There was some steamroll iDom rounds for sure. It felt like the rest of the bracket leading up to that point, which was steamroll iDom rounds. But the reset happens and Kawano's fighting back. Do you remember, were you up in the set and then Kawano makes the comeback, or was Kawano up first and you had to make the comeback?
I think I was up 2-1 before on the last set, and then like that's when Kawano made the comeback. I think I won the first game, he won the second, and I think I won the third.
Yeah, so it was 2-1 you. Yeah, I pulled it up here. So you're up 2-1. Are you this is different than the Capcom Cup one now. So Capcom Cup, you're not supposed to be there. Cinderella story. Wow, I'm in Grand Finals of Capcom Cup. I can do no wrong. Let me just let my gameplay, let Laura and Poison run free. This year, maybe you still had that mentality, but the results show, and the buzz and the discussion around it was iDom's the favorite. It's a completely different headspace to be in, or you have to be delusional and avoid all that, be in your own bubble to keep that underdog mentality. You're in that position. Are you still feeling that way like you did in Capcom Cup?
No, it was not the same. It definitely, like you said, it was the whole I'm the favorite now, so now it's kind of like it's a different side of things. Like obviously, I'm not the favorite because I'm a loser, but it was kind of like this is my tournament to win kind of thing.
Right.
So uh there are some times in that match where I do feel like I kind of psyched myself out, but
Mm.
at the same time, there were some times where the coin just didn't turn my way as well. So it was a good and a bad thing. I just that match is just like it's one of those matches I just try to forget, to be honest.
I mean, I want you to remember. It was because that last game he brings it back, right? And it goes to the last game, last round, last scrambles. And I don't even know what happened exactly. I mean, there was V-trigger activations, there's choline sliding all over the place. You're trying to get your overhead mix going. He ends up getting the last interaction. How does it feel?
It sucks because like it was like kind of like a good Evo for me, like a good run, but it it sucks really bad because like that was kind of like one of those things where if like that was my Evo, that could have been like the last Street Fighter 5. I would have been the last Street Fighter 5 Evo champion kind of
Right.
thing. So that part kind of it does suck. Like I still do think about it. It's not really something I can get back. But
Yeah.
that's kind of it sucks because like I have to be delusional and be like, oh, but you're last Street Fighter 5 Capcom Cup. Well,
Not even.
Capcom. No, well, I hate the new format, but
Okay,
like the last,
we'll get into that.
The last, good format Capcom Cup 2019 champion.
The last truly pro tour, the last point system where half the bracket was Japanese and full-time professional players. Yeah, and that would have bookended. And I mean, I think that's also it's interesting because like you got that win over Punk, and then Punk never got his Street Fighter V win. For as dominant as he was, right? Mm-hmm. And you got that win over Punk to take the Capcom Cup. Now you have your chance at EVO. Did you relate at all to like? Did you ever think back to that? Because I think narratively, like, man, like you Punk was so close to the EVO 2017, so close Capcom Cup 2019. You took it from him, and then now you're feeling the same way. Did you ever like? I don't know if you guys ever discussed that, or did you ever think about that connection that you guys kind of share in that sense?
I remember there was one time it was me, Big Bird, and Punk. I remember we all took like a group second place EVO. Evo picture together, and I was like, that's kind of like one of those things. Like, damn, it sucks to be here, but like we all did the same thing. Kind of thing.
And that's funny. Then the Street Fighter V Grand Finals is Big Bird Punk, and then so Big Bird's a double loser now. Ouch, that's tough. Yeah, that could have been a real. And that's what I'm talking about when I say like you were robbed of your era. Like obviously you weren't robbed of that EVO 2022 win. Kawana won fair and square, right? But you had less opportunity in your prime in that game to have those moments. Who you could have won an EVO 2020 or 2021. They didn't happen. You could have won a Capcom Cup.
I have the EVO Online 2021 trophy. Why do people?
Oh my god!
I have the trophy.
Get that out of here!
I have a trophy. I just have to scratch out the online and then boom.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, maybe you can make it look legit. I mean, the kids these days don't think you've ever won anything, so they won't know none the better. Might as well.